What's up, Dragon Brood? So today we are going to do a really fun aggro deck, which I guess I have a few aggro decks up for Kaldheim, but this one particularly is RAKDOS, focusing on Berserkers, because I think that's a thing people have been asking about here lately. Like, do I have one coming out? And I have a couple different RAKDOS lists I'm still messing with, so hopefully we'll get both those out by the deadline, because I'm trying really hard. But this one is focusing on Berserkers because they're a new tribe in this set and have a lot of stuff that kind of works with each other. So I'm kind of curious to see what we can put together. And as always, if you haven't, please hit the like button to help this video get seen, hit the subscribe button to help me out and grow my audience, and then hit the notification bell because that lets you know the next time I have the next video up. But for now, let's go talk about some RAKDOS Berserkers. Okay, for starters, this is going to blow up a lot of your wild cards. Just letting you know up front because it's almost all new cards from Kaldheim. Just because of the mechanic. We don't really have a choice. However, the first card, obviously, is Blood Chief's Thirst. Everybody has those by now. They're uncommons anyway, easy to get. Now, Dusk Welder. This is one I debated if I was going to play, but you know what? You don't have a lot of good 1-mana things that go into this type of deck, and I figured, you know what? If we're going to do it, let's just go in on it. Partly because we have other cards later like Burji that actually let you activate this multiple times. So it's possible late in the game, maybe you're getting a free drain for 2, or maybe even with multiples for 3 or 4. And that could be kind of cool. But it's a 1/2, which is not bad for 1. So it can hold up against a few things. It could punch through one of those human counters from a Lovestruck Beast. You can block a Fervent Champion. You know, there's a few things you could do on turn 1, both on offense and defense. So I don't hate it. It's filling a role. Then we're playing 3 Fearless Liberator. This is when you attack, you get to pay 3 and create a 2/1 Dwarf Berserker. So you get more Berserkers to add to your pile. Just kind of fits the whole theme of the deck. It uses boasts like several of Berserkers do. So nothing wrong with that. It's a good quality 2/1 for 2. Then we're playing 3 Skimfar Avenger. This one is every time a Berserker or a non-elf or... man, I gotta learn to speak. I'm talking too fast. So whenever another non-token elf or berserker you control dies, you lose a life and you draw a card. There we go. We finally got it all out. But it's a 3/1 for 2 mana, which is really nice. Doesn't really matter that it's an elf. We're more worried about it being a berserker and then the upside from being able to get cards from your creatures dying, which is nice because it kind of lets you keep staying aggressive. Even if you don't attack with this and it's just on the battlefield, your other creatures dying are going to be generating value for you, which is huge. And then this one's the one I kind of toyed around with how many I wanted. The Dragonkin Berserker is a 2-mana, 2/2 with First Strike, which is one of the things I really like about this deck. Because if something like this is popular in Standard, having a First Striker that kills things that you don't trade with is really nice. And it does give you the ability to take down a few extra creatures you wouldn't otherwise, and maybe something like the white aggressive decks. But it also has the ability that all your bow stuff costs 1 less for each dragon you control. We do have a dragon later in the list, and you can pay 5 and just make a 5/5 dragon. So if it's later in the game, you know what? You just attack, and maybe you just want to upgrade. You're like, hey, I'm going to trade my 2/2 in for a 5/5. If they block it and kill it, I don't even mind. Right? That's just cool to have that versatility. So we're going to experiment with it. Don't know how good it is, but we'll find out. Then going back to the top here, we've got a couple copies of Heartless Act. Just solid removal, so we have a little extra flexibility. Then we're playing a 3 Arnie Broken Brow. This has shown up in a couple of my lists already, but Arnie's a 3/3 for 3. You can pay 1, boast, then his power becomes the power of your largest other creature plus 1, which is really nice. In most cases, he's only going to be like a 4 power or 5 power, but hey, it's extra power and it's on a haste creature. So it's hard to hate it, and he's a berserker, randomly. Rise of the Dreadmarn, this is one of the few lists I've found so far where we're going to try this out. And it does make a lot of sense here for a couple of reasons. Is that 1, you can just send your stuff in or wait for a board sweep or whatever. And then you're going to get 2/2 zombies that also happen to be berserkers. So setting this up as foretell when you're just waiting for your sweeper to come or your opponent to block a bunch of things, like that's a thing that's cool. Or you're just like, okay, fine, I'll just keep it in hand open and I'll just play it as an instant so I don't telegraph it. Like that's a thing too. The other thing, too, to note about this card, which I think I mentioned on the previews when I saw it, was that this doesn't say when a creature you control dies. It just says create X 2/2 black zombie berserkers. where X is the number of non-token creatures that died this turn. So it doesn't matter if they're your creatures, it's just as long as creatures died, you get that many counters. So keep that in mind. And then we're playing a couple copies of Bergi, God of Storytelling. A couple of things we like about Bergi is anytime you play a spell, you get an extra red mana. This is important because you don't lose the mana when the phases end. And that means that, let's say pre-combat, you might want to go ahead and play 2 or 3 of your creatures, because we have a bunch of things that cost 1 and 2. You have that mana sitting around. Now when you go to attack, you can activate your bow stuff. And because of Bergi's ability, you can actually activate bows multiple times. So if for some reason you already have, say, 4 mana or 5 mana, great. Well, now I'm just going to make 2 tokens, or I'm going to drain the opponent twice, or I would say make 2 dragons, but that's an expensive one. But you get what I'm saying, though. Just like these are things that we can do, which is really, really nice. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, Arnie says, so Arnie's power have +1 plus the greatest power among other creatures. Okay, never mind. I thought that was like a sub combo I missed, but no, it's all still works exactly like I thought. All right, so we have Eradicator Valkyrie. We just had this in the Angels list. I think it fits better here, being a Berserker and having boast, especially with cheap creatures or tokens that we can sacrifice. Does a little more work in this particular list, and it gives you a creature with flying, which is really nice. It's not a dragon. And then we're playing Carter, the Doom Scourger, or Doom Scourge. And this card is actually pretty cool because whenever an attacking creature dies, you gain a life. Your opponent loses a life and you gain a life. And that's pretty sweet because it doesn't even matter if it's your creature or their creature. And then this also says, when Carter enters the battlefield, until your next turn, your opponent has to attack each combat. Now they have to try to attack somebody that's not you if that's possible. Obviously, with 1v1, that's not possible. They have to attack you. Yes, this card's worded to be more of a commander card. However, it does have applications here where you can force your opponent to attack and then their defenses are down so you can attack through. Or you can just say, okay, cool, I'm going to block a couple things and drain you for some and then try to kill you. Or you maybe have a Rise of the Dreadmarn set up already. So they run everything in, you kill things, your stuff dies, and then you make like 6 2/2s and then get to attack your opponent, right? So that's pretty cool. Like there's a bunch of different things this card allows, which I really like. And again, also a Berserker. Then we're playing some Goldspan Dragons. Like this isn't a Berserker, but you know what? It's a 5 mana dragon that there's a chance we're going to get some mana back from it because of the treasure, which the treasure then lets us use our boast abilities. Also consider the fact that if you play Goldspan Dragon and Bergi's out, well, now you get an additional red mana, plus you get the other mana from the treasure. Then you can sack the treasure for 2. Now you have 3 mana available. So like, there's a lot of little sub themes here that we're working on. And it's a haste creature, which is also really nice. And then, of course, we got to play Embercleave. The card's just good. If you're able to get 3, 4, 5 creatures out quickly, you can just overrun your opponent. So, like, yeah, not a reason not to play the Embercleave. Land-wise, we're not getting too cute here. We're playing a full set of the Blightstep Pathway. We're playing 2 Emberstern Skullkarn. It does come into play tap, so that's a little bit of a drawback, but it does let you basically have 3 damage available late in the game that can't be countered. So that's pretty nice. It's just 3 damage. I mean, good way to finish. Playing 2 Faceless Havens because, again, they count as Berserkers. Not that it matters all that much, but you know, it's another land that you can attack with. It's a 4-power creature. You can block with it. We're playing a whole lot of snow-covered lands, so that allows us the ability to activate it without too much trouble. And we don't need a lot of colored mana, generally speaking. So having 2 that are colorless shouldn't hurt us too much with 23 land, and the fact that we have so many 1 and 2 mana things. So yeah, if you're in the ballpark for something along the lines of a Rakdos aggressive list, this is one that's probably worth checking out, assuming you have the resources to either purchase it or craft it or whatever. However it is you come by creating your decks. One of the things I would look at. But it's actually really fun, has a lot of sub-combo things that kind of work together. A lot of interesting new cards. That this is one of the only homes for a couple of them. So yeah, I'm really, really excited to see how this one works out. Also, if you haven't, one more time, please remember to like this video, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and then come back and see the other videos because we got a few more before Kaldheim hits this coming Thursday. But they're all right around the corner, and hopefully there will be something that you can find that you will enjoy. So that's all I have for you for now. We'll see you next time.